Thanks for tuning into Stocks with Antonio. Man, what a day in the stock market. The market continued to pull back, but I love to know if you're watching this, if you made money in the stock market today, Tuesday. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. Did you make it by doing a call option, a put, or just by buying a stock and selling it? Let us know. Let everyone know down in the comments below. But let's get into it. We may see a pop tomorrow, Wednesday, and it may be around 2 o'clock. Reason I say this, the FOMC meeting held back in January 27th to 28th, that is scheduled to be released Wednesday, February 18th. And it's going to be coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you see that the stock has a pop around that time, you know why. But in a market that we're having right now, it's a great time to be looking for opportunities, especially in your long-term portfolio. Right now, you're seeing a lot of great companies' share prices go down, and that's really creating opportunity. It's hard for a lot of retail investors to get this, but when the stock market's pulling back, that is your best chance to get in to build wealth. When the market's just everyday green, it's just going to new highs. Can you make money when the market's doing that? You can. But when you build the most money, it's going to be on the strong pullbacks. And right now, we're having a pullback, and some stocks are having stronger pullbacks, and they're going to be great to add to your portfolio. The one that I see as a very good opportunity, it is Amazon stock. Now, I get it. Investors, they're selling. They're selling out of Amazon. They're concerned with its spending into AI. Now, in my opinion, if I were to open a company or if I'm expanding my company, it takes money, right? I have to invest to grow a company. And sometimes to see the returns on that investment, it takes time. It may not happen as quickly as investors may like. And let's face it, this day and age, people don't have patience. They want to see returns right away. They want to see it right now. But I do believe that the future is AI. I believe these big boy companies, they know what they're doing. They wouldn't have gotten this big, they wouldn't be this large if they didn't. So I trust in the CEO, and I do believe companies, they need to, when as time passes by, they need to come out with new products, they need to evolve, they need to advance into the future. And right now, I believe that is AI. So I don't think Amazon is making a mistake. I just think it's normal for people to panic. Usually, when you tell anybody when it comes to business and things like that, people tend to be negative. But I think Amazon in the long run, it's going to prove itself, and that this pullback is going to be a tremendous opportunity, and it's really going to reward investors. If you go on the charts, which I got to learn how to pull up the charts here, but if you go on the charts and you look at it, you're going to see anytime that Amazon's been below its 200-day moving average, it's been a good opportunity to enter. I can't tell you the bottom, and some analysts are bearish in the sense they believe that Amazon can continue to go down. Some people are saying all the way down to 175. Some people even said lower than that. So does that mean that Amazon can't go lower than where it's currently at? No, it can. But timing the market is impossible, in my opinion, right? So you want to find good entry points. Right now, I think if you can get it under $200 and start to dollar cost average, that's a good entry point. Meaning, if you get in now, be prepared that yes, it could go further. Be setting money aside. So if it does pull back even further, you can continue to add shares. Now, that's my opinion. That's what I'm going to be doing. Everything that I talk about in this video is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. So understand that investing carries risk and you could potentially lose money. But I do think Amazon's a great opportunity where it's currently at. And I want you to do me a favor. Go ahead and go you can do this on your computer, on your laptop, on your cell phone, wherever you have your internet, and go on Google and type in Amazon stock. We'll just do it easy. You're gonna see, hopefully my phone pull up here. I don't think it's letting me because in the background, but go on your phone, go on Google, and then you should see the chart pop. When that chart comes up, do me a favor and go, let me see how far. Let's just do the 5 years. Okay. And I'm going to show you, let me see what year I want. So let's go back to 2021 in the chart. Hopefully you're following along. Hopefully you got your phone out. and you're doing this. Now, some of you that are watching this may already have Amazon in your portfolio. You may be like me. You may believe in Amazon, and you may have some big gains if you bought it a few years back, like I have. Let me know down in the comments below if you already have Amazon, if you're holding Amazon. If you don't have Amazon, let me know, right? Maybe you're thinking about getting Amazon and it's going to be new to your portfolio, and this may help you out. Now, I can't guarantee that this will repeat itself, what I'm going to show you, but if you go on the chart, and this is something I do that helps me when there's downturns, and I'm just doing this because it may help you, right? Something that helps me may help someone else. So in 2021, you can see the stock was um over 160, over 150, over 160, around that range, right? You get the idea. In 2021. In 2022, Amazon started to pull back. So imagine if you bought Amazon in 2021 at $182. That's where it was in July 23rd of 2021, right? You might have said, oh, perfect, I'm going to add this to my long-term portfolio. You're excited, you're investing, right? And then it starts to pull back in 2022. And this thing goes all the way down to under $90. You're going to be like, oh man, right? It's not going to feel good when you see your portfolio. That's a lot of red. Imagine if you would have DCA as it was pulling back. If you believed in the company, imagine if you dollar cost average. Now you could do this every time you get paid. Make sure you set some money aside for yourself. And that is a good thing to do, actually. So some of you, you're going to make your incomes differently. You get paid differently. But if you have a 9 to 5, usually it's pretty common to get paid bi-weekly, right? Make sure when you're getting paid, no matter, how you make your income, if it's through a business that you have, or if you work a 9 to 5, or if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly or once a month, however you get paid, make sure you're paying yourself, meaning make sure you're putting some money aside in your emergency account, but also make sure you're putting some money aside to invest, right? That's just what I do. And every time you do that, you could have been dollar cost averaging back then into Amazon. And let's go back to the chart. So it goes back to 190. And then, so you got in, let's say you got in 2021. You see it pull back all the way below $90 in 2022. And then in 2023, this thing starts to climb. It starts to recover, right? And even if you bought it, I believe I said over the 182, something like that, right? In 2024, you would have passed that. Right now, I get it. Some of you may say, "Oh man, I don't want to buy." If and now obviously this would have been in the past, but some of you may be watching this and saying, "I don't want to. I wouldn't want to have bought that stock in 21 and have to wait all the way to 2024." And that's what I'm saying. Long-term investing. This would be more of a long-term investing. But as you see, so in 24, you would have been higher than that. And in 25, right? In 25, there was a part that you were well over $200, and then it pulled back towards the end of 2025, but then it started to recover. And this thing went all the way up to $250 a share in 2025. So if you would have bought in 2021, you would have been a lot of upside, right? Now it's pulling back again. But if you would have been dollar cost averaging, right, you would have been bringing your average price down and you would have been increasing your share. You would have been building wealth long term. So what am I doing? I think under the 200-day moving average, under $200 a share is a great entry point. If it continues to go back, I'm just going to get more shares. You don't want to be buying when it's all the way at the top. Like not too long ago, it was at $250 a share and it's been coming back down. This is the time you want to be buying and dollar cost averaging if it continues to go down. That's my opinion. That's what I'm going to be doing. Remember, it's not a suggestion for you buy, hold, or sell. I'm just sharing with you that I think this out of the Mag 7, it's a great opportunity. It's having a strong pullback. And if you want to go ahead and look at the chart, it may help you with Amazon. And you don't just have to do this with Amazon. You can actually do this with any stock you're doing. Look at the chart. Look at its history. Because a lot of people forget that stocks go up and down, right? they don't just go in a straight line all the way up to the sky, right? They go up and down and they go up and down. And you can go ahead, look at the chart, do your research. But one thing I always like to look at the chart, and you can see how it's gone up and down. You can see how the stocks recover. You can see how it's been doing. Make sure also you're looking at their earnings, seeing how they're doing with their earnings. Are they increasing revenue? Are they profitable? Those are all important things to also look at when you're considering a stock. But when it comes to Amazon, I'm a believer. Amazon is doing well. I am aware that they're investing heavily into AI, and that could affect their future earnings, and that's why investors are selling off. But since I'm a believer and it's pulling back, I believe Amazon's going to be worth a lot more 5 to 10 years from now than it is today. So I'm seeing this as a wealth building opportunity. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you think I earned it, smash the like button. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out a small channel like mine. So I really appreciate it if you did that. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.